Hello everybody, and welcome back to Burrows. We had a bit of a little panic attack thingy after having an argument with Hiro, but Atre's here now, so we're getting somewhere, I guess. I've been wondering where this fella has been. Well, just figure out what's happenings, right? Yeah.
Agree. What are you doing standing in the middle of the street?
A hand touches my shoulder and my whole body seizes up. Okay, Gray. Something stuck in my throat. I bend over and hack up something salty. That bitter aftertaste, that burning in my nose. Seawater? Oh.
Agree.
I turn around and see Aunt Ree with a few bags of goods strung over his shoulders, as well as a crowd of concerned villagers. Right, I was in the middle of something. What was I so upset about? Again? The memory is already starting to fade as the elk pats my back hard enough to make me stumble.
Ah, thank the Lord that spell of confusion was broken. I was just returning from the market when I saw you standing in the middle of this crowd, staring at the sky and looking rather terrified.
Hey, don't worry, I'm fine now. Must have gotten a little dizzy from running around town all day. I didn't go anywhere just now, right?
Where else is there, lad?
No, you're right. Sorry, I'm a little... I lean into him, knowing he's strong enough to support me. Sorry.
Oh, take all the time you need.
He says that, but I'm looking at this expression. It seems like he's had it. The villagers seem to have moved on from my little performance, and they go back to their prior activities. Atri puts his bags down and rubs my back until I feel stable enough to stand on my own.
Still, it's getting rather late. Were you simply on your way back to Mrs. Dr. Petra's residence, and you got lost?
I guess, though to be honest, I'm not in any rush. Me and Hiro had a bit of a fight, and I think he wants some space.
No, dear. I'm sorry to hear that, Gray. It, wasn't about me, was it?
No. He's more fond of you than he lets on, I promise. We just don't always see eye to eye on. I want to say more, but I let that sentence drop. Attery cocks a curious eyebrow.
It sounds like you have, a lot on your mind. Care to accompany me to the pub?
There's a pub here. He grins coyly. I guess it makes sense, given the size of this town.
It's probably lower quality than what you're used to drinking in the city, but it gets the job done.
Well, I could certainly use a drink after after the day I've had.
Oh,
okay. And how about I say no? And how can I say no to good company such as yourself?
That's the spirit. Follow me. It's just over this way.
He hooks his arm around mine and pulls me through town. As I thought, he knows every shortcut and hidden alleyway by heart, getting up to the pub in record time.
Oh? There. That wasn't so bad, was it?
Was it absolutely necessary to have jumped over that sewer channel? What if we had fallen in? He's just having fun. Come on, Gray.
Aw, worry not. After admiring your physique yesterday, I knew those powerful legs of yours would be able to make the jump.
Really? You admire me of all people with your build like that? When you're built like that? He shrugs, flexing his muscles and acknowledge my point.
Having something in multitude doesn't mean I can't appreciate it in lesser quantities as well. Besides, we did clear the jump.
All right, but we definitely broke that fence.
Yes, that is beyond repair, and I'm anticipating a bill.
All right, so he isn't completely delusional. The facade is pretty run down, but that's to be expected in a town made of odds and ends. I can already hear the merry sounds of drunken laughter coming from inside.
Ready when you are.
Lead the way, sir. Oh, okay. A jingle bell, a bell jingles as we step through the door, and I'm immediately hit with the smell of smoke and stale piss. The various patrons stop to size us up before returning to their conversations. Adri seems unfazed, smiling all the way to the bar. A few people get up after we sit down, muttering pejoratives? Duh. Why do I get the feeling everyone's angry at me?
Oh. Apologies. I have a bit of a reputation, it seems.
Did you piss someone off?
Well...
The mongoose behind the counter comes our way and scoffs at us before offering us peanuts. Adri. What are you doing showing your ugly mug back here again?
Come on. I just wanted to show my new friend here a good time.
Kid, do you know what this freak did the last time he was in here?
No.
He challenged us to a contest where the loser would have to recite a page of scripture for every drink they couldn't finish.
You could have said no.
Sounds more like you're salty that you got beat to me. Watch it, rat. Hang on. You hang around people like him too long, and you'll end up on the outs with us too. Marsupial. Okay. Adri simply produces 2 gold coins and places them face down on the table with a grin.
2 beers, please. I presume our money is still good, yes?
The mongoose growls and begrudgingly takes our orders. Jeez, what's their problem?
No, just ignore him. It's easier to point blame at others than oneself.
Yeah, but aren't you upset?
Huh, just the opposite, Gray. While they hold on to the poison of resentment, I've already let go of any misgivings and forgiving them.
Yikes. That's the most passive-aggressive Christian indifference I've ever seen. Huh. You know, in the South we have a similar saying. When someone's acting a fool, and you have nothing nice to say, we just hit them with a bless your heart.
How innovative! You Americans sure are snappy.
We try. Oh, here comes our drinks. The angry mongoose slams down our pints and walks away without so much as an enjoy. Well, at least he isn't breathing down our necks.
Here, a toast!
He lifts up his mug and I scramble to grab mine and return his gesture. What to?
Good health, and an even better weekend.
Corny, but yes, a toast to that. We clink glasses, and I take my first sip of this mysterious brew. It's beer, all right, and very watered down at that. Adri chugs it as if it were nectar from the gods, but after the story I was told, his tolerance might as well turn beer into water. Not wanting to be outdone, I start forcing mouthfuls of it down my gullet, and try not to gag on the sour flavor of the hops. Didn't Hiro say he liked this stuff? This can't be the same beer, right?
Even if they serve me the lowest grade stuff in the city, I'll still graciously imbibe.
Imbibe? Imbibe? What is this word? I don't know. So that's it. I'm being given piss water because of my association with Adri. Something tells me that their dislike of him goes deeper than a mere drinking contest gone wrong. He stands out, sure, but this town is too blended to hate him for being a labor race. Is it because he isn't German? Because neither Hiro or Petra and they've both found success here. Then what could it be?
You know, we may have met under very peculiar circumstances, but I'm happy to say that you've grown on me.
I tried to get the image of his rear painted with the red X out of my mind and nod. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say it, but thanks for helping me bring Hiro home. I don't think we would have made it out of the woods without you.
'Twas nothing, really. Besides, you helped me out of my predicament, so it was an even trade. Still, I'm embarrassed to admit that I'm glad it wasn't a one-time meeting. Aside from Alfwin, I can't say I have any friends out here.
What's the deal with you and him anyway? He doesn't strike me as the friendly type.
Aye, his personality is a bit prickly, but he is otherwise completely harmless. I imagine he was just on edge when you and Hiro because your new face is in town. He has to protect his property, and you did transgress when you picked his flowers.
Adri, he was going to shoot us until you showed up.
Heavens no, he's all bark, no bite.
Sorry, but it made a poor first impression. Even if you're his friend, I don't trust him yet.
Aye, it is your right to be cautious. But if your opinion was colored by something you might have overheard yesterday...
You noticed.
It is true. He's not only my friend, but my minister as well.
Another bias.
Yeah, you're right to be dubious of my intentions, as well as my devotion to him. But know this. While we both worship the Lord and he guides my prayers, I am not beholden to his personal beliefs.
He looks at the floor and shakes his head in disgust, thinking back to that time. Is he referring to? So, you don't care about Hiro's secrets then?
Frankly, it's none of my business. Were it not for my sharp sense of smell, I'd have been none the wiser.
But it doesn't interfere with your interpretation of the scripture. He thinks for a while, sipping his beer and nodding to himself as he reaches an epiphany.
The Bible says that one's body is a temple, and Hiro is simply doing some renovations. What's inside will continue to house the Holy Spirit, and that's what matters most. So long as he continues to lead a long, healthy life and continue to help people, God will always be by his side.
Even though what you're saying is sweet, he's probably rolling his eyes.
I know that it's a common perception that we're a judgmental bunch, but no man is free of sin. I would sooner turn the other cheek than cast the first stone.
I wish there were more people like you where I'm from. I'm full of so much animosity, and I know it isn't far to put that on you. Isn't fair. Sorry, not far. Fair!
What was it that burns you on Christianity, Gray?
I get fidgety in my seat. It's a heavy story. Are you sure you're ready to hear it?
It sounds like it's been weighing on you for some time. As your friend, I'll do my best to support you and listen.
I, don't know if it's really my story to tell, but if you really want to know. I sigh and try to pick my words carefully. Even if I'm in a time before his birth, I should get the details right for his sake. Growing up, I had a friend named Sam. He was kind of a surprise, to both his parents' delight. See, his mother had been told that she was infertile, and they couldn't, conceive, after years of trying. Eventually, they agreed that adoption was their only choice. They were bears, and well off to boot, so they were never going to find a perfect match at any old Louisiana orphanage. At that time, it was all labor races, reptiles and avians. They were about to give up, and then Charles caught their eye. Albino alligator, thin as a twig. He looked like he could kneel over at any moment, clearly the runt of the litter. What made an illustrious family pick such an ill-fated creature? Oh, sorry. I shrug. Maybe they were tired of looking, or they felt pity. Either way, he was officially adopted into the Dawson family and joined them in church every Sunday. Everything was fine until Sam was born, and then Charles was more like a guest in his own home.
I've heard similar tales from those born first in large families. I imagine it'd be even worse for one with no blood relation to the parents.
Yeah. So his faith was really all he had left. I don't know if it was out of spite or just to keep his mind off of things at home, but he spent all of his time helping out at church and doing Bible studies. Deep down, I think he really did love God and his faith, but that wasn't enough to protect him.
From?
I had only talked to him a few times after Sam died. Charles was a shell of his former self, and I'd chalk that up to grief. He didn't get specific, but he told me that our pastor had been acting inappropriately towards him, abusing his power over the younger clergy. My sister was closer to Charles, so she probably knows the whole story. Apparently they broke things off because of it. Knowing her, she probably just wanted to keep our family line pure. I'll bet father lined up another wealthy possum for her to marry.
I see. Your past is rife with misfortune, it seems.
Jeez, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin the mood. I chug some more beer, hoping I can at least get a buzz from this watered-down dreck. Let's talk about something happier, yeah?
If that's what you wish.
We chat about things for the rest of the night, gleefully downing our beer and enjoying each other's company. I appreciate the chance to unwind after a day of non-stop busy work. Atri understands the value of puttering around, and that's an important asset in a friend. However, thanks to that hard work, I had enough money to keep the drinks flowing. At this rate, we'll both be tanked before the night's through. High tolerance my ass.
Hush you. I'm holding it just, fine.
Did you just throw up in your mouth?
Only a little. I'll simply wash it down with more brew.
Cheers to that. Part of me hopes that I can remember this in the morning. I want this night to go on forever. I'd rather stay in this safe little bubble with Atri than have to face Hiro again. I can't stand the idea of him hating me. Atri nods towards the door and I follow him out. My knees wobble as we limp through the dark streets of the town, laughing the night away. Sorry, I didn't notice it catching up to me.
You're fine. We're all indulge from time to time.
You seem to be handling it just fine now.
Oh, well, I am a lot bigger than you.
We both know what he's referring to there. Luckily for him, I'm just drunk enough to find childish humor like that hysterical.
Goodness, speaking of, I've never had to piss so fierce in my life.
What? Come on, we didn't drink that much. I suddenly feel the urge rising and squeezing my legs together to hold it in. No, you're right. Nature's calling.
Come here. There's a private spot behind this building we can use.
Oh, so now you're shy about showing off. I tickle his ribs as we half laugh and half cry, holding his crotch for dear life.
Cease now, before I make a mess of my pants.
So you'd have to strip. No big deal for you.
I simply don't want to make my bad reputation any worse.
Well, now I feel like a dick. Sorry. Show me the way, my faithful guide. He pulls me through the alley, and we emerge on a small platform, overlooking the channel that runs through town. It's not secluded by any means, but nobody will be able to see us from this angle.
Finally, we can,
I glance over and he's fiddling with his pants. Many golden buttons. You good?
My coordination just isn't the best right now.
He winces in pain, and I can tell he's seconds from pissing himself. Here, let me just... go.
Oh, well, if that's how it's going to be.
But your hands are cold.
Does the nature of hooved hands...
Exposed to the night air, it doesn't take long for nature to take its course. Okay, sure. Alright. We sigh in unison as that pressure gets released from our bladder. That was close.
I'll say, thanks to your timely resourcefulness, I was spared any further embarrassment.
Oh, what's so embarrassing about having a buddy to help hold your junk in an emergency?
Oh, well, it doesn't help that I keep finding myself more than just holding.
He gives my cock a curious squeeze, and I return the favor. My trickle of piss slowly starts to arc upward as he keeps getting hands here. If you keep this up, I'm not going to be able to zip it back up, Hattery.
Apologies, I was just...
He doesn't finish, instead releasing me and giving his dick a few shakes before putting it away. Hattery?
I don't want to take this the wrong way, but it was just interesting to hold one that wasn't my own. It was soft and warm, and I suppose instincts took over.
Note, the following sex scene is not optional for the sake of the narrative. Would you like to skip to the end of the scene? What? Yeah, we'll skip to the end of the scene. You know, I'm already doing editing, but I don't want to do a lot of editing. So we'll just skip. It's fine. I trip over a raised cobblestone, and he catches me before I hit the ground.
Oh, goodness. Are you really that gone, Gray?
No. That stone is just... That's dangerous. Someone could get hurt, you know.
Uh-huh. Oh, shall we use that public drinking fountain to clean up a little?
Good call. It's not my first time having to wash up after a public hookup, but it's certainly the first time I've had to wash off my own piss off of someone's face. Okay. That should at least help with the smell until you can get home.
It's not the worst smell in the world.
Okay, now you're just trying to be gross.
I'll never wash this cloth. It shall remain by my bedside as a keepsake of this transcendent experience.
Oh god, please don't.
I just...
He laughs and punches my shoulder. He's sillier than usual when he's wasted. A breeze blows through the town and I shiver in his arms. He instinctively holds me tighter against his body, letting me savor the warmth.
Let's get you home, shall we?
I'm not in a rush. What's next?
Oh, you still wish to spend time with me?
I'm just running away from facing Hiro at the moment. And the night is clearly over, but...
Aren't you cold?
You could help with that. Oh, I back up against a nearby wall, and he leans into me, shielding my body from the wind.
Is this alright?
Okay. It's late enough that nobody's around, even the nearest lit window is blocks away from here. Someone's watching. Someone's creeping. Is it just the audience? Feeling emboldened by the liquor coursing through my veins, I wrap my arms around his waist, hooking my thumb through the belt loop of his pants. Thanks for this. I've been feeling lost ever since I came here. Even if we're both foreigners, you've made me feel at home.
Like I said, it's nothing.
Be selfish. Take credit for once. He sighs and rests his chin on my head, careful not to headbutt the wall with his antlers.
'Tis not my nature. But if I had to help anyone, I'm glad it was you.
He presses his firm torso against me, and I slowly let out a breath before nuzzling into his neck. You're really warm.
'Tis my job.
Oh?
We really need to get you washed up before you catch a cold.
Warmed up, sorry. Your place?
That's...
He chuckles to himself and doesn't elaborate. My hands dip under the waistband, and I slowly rub my fingers above his ass crack. Unless that was a one-time arrangement.
Still have some fight in you, eh? Even with my muzzle still befouled?
Drunk brain is starting to take over, and I lean in close to kiss him. You are right. It isn't the worst smell. He laughs nervously and moves my arm off of him.
My house isn't fit for visitors right now. Besides, you already have a bed with your name on it at Dr. Petra's house.
I whine, but he gives me a final head pat before taking my hand and guiding me back towards her office.
If you really want to spend the night together, come see me tomorrow. I have some errands to run and...
That name. You see it. It's that one. That place is too dangerous. What do you need this time?
We can talk more about that tomorrow. If you wish to join me, I'll be waiting by the village gate around noon.
He stops me before I head inside and nips my ear, making me shiver.
I probably shouldn't say this, but something's been off about you ever since we met.
Huh?
It's not just that you're a fish out of water. I can smell it on you. Your clothes, your mannerisms, even the way you talk. It's all completely alien to me. That must be why the fairies have taken such an interest in you. Oh, how they talked after you left the cottage.
Atri, you're kind of scaring me.
Heavens, that wasn't my intention at all. How do I put it?
He drapes his arms around me, and I lean into his strong torso, transfixed by his dazzling blue eyes.
I want to help you, however I can. I want to be of use to you. Just give me the word, and it'll be done.
Some things can't be fixed so simply, even if you believe in his power.
Just tell me who did this to you, and we'll have somewhere to start.
How did he figure that one person was solely to blame? I didn't let anything slip in my drunken stupor, did I? Here, let me raise the audio a bit. Who said it was anyone's fault but my own?
Stop that.
But it's true. All of this is... I sigh and place my hand over his, squeezing them gently. It's not the kind of story I want to tell after a good night like this. Can I tell you another time?
That's fine with me, but I do hope you can accompany me on tomorrow's trek.
He nuzzles into my neck and I yelp.
And after we're done there, we can have some alone time at my house. Deal?
Deal. I'll let you know. He gives me a final hug before walking off into the darkness. Somewhat sobered up, I trudge up the stairs before I'm stopped by a flash of white in my periphery? Oh, so you decided to come home after all. I assume that's Petra. It might be Hiro, but I assume it's Petra. Yeah. I turn to see Petra sitting on her office desk. She girl bossing out here. Hair down, bottle in hand, the moonlight frames her in an almost angelic fashion. But she couldn't be more of a mess. What? Looks like I wasn't the only one who felt like drinking tonight. Drinking at the pub is so pedestrian. At least here I can be alone with my thoughts. Oh? Well, I was alone. We stare at each other until she sighs and gestures for me to sit. She grabs a small, fluted glass from her cabinet and pours me a serving of whatever this clear spirit is. Careful, it has teeth. I give it a curious sniff, and my nose crinkles at the gasoline-like smell. What is this? Everclear? Hollands. It's Dutch gin. You didn't strike me as the type to drink it straight. She shrugs and demurely takes a sip of it, as if it was spring water. Yeah. What is this? What is Petro was born? Sam Senior was born. Okay. Hiro met great. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. We will. What buttons? What buttons are buttons in this game? Puts hair on your chest, and not that I need any help with that at my age. I take the tiniest baby sip possible and grimace as it burns a line down my throat. Yup, that's about what I expected. Since you're interrupting my alone time, allow me to Allow me an intrusion of my own. What did you say to Hiro that left him in such a state? Well, even if I disagree with Hiro, I shouldn't violate his privacy by tattling on him. He was pushing himself too hard again. I asked him to take it easy, and he just ended up dumping the work on me instead. It was fine at first, but soon I realized that it would always be like this. He'd keep getting hurt before he can heal, and you and I would be left behind to pick up the pieces. So you see my dilemma then? I don't get it, though. You're his doctor, sure, but you've already done all you can do by performing the surgery. If you won't listen, why not send him away? She shrugs and walks around the other side of the desk, facing away from me. You're right. That would make my life a hell of a lot simpler. I may be a doctor, but I have a peculiar dislike of hapless cur like you running amok in my clinic day after day. Ouch. Ah, yes. Logically, we'd be better off if I sent him on his way, and let him self-destruct. However, she traces a finger across the windowsill, clearing a line of dust before flicking it away. Hiro isn't your run-of-the-mill hapless cur. She clears her throat. He's dear to me. You've no doubt figured out the situation regarding him by now. Whether or not he realizes it, he cannot get close to anyone without his secret being revealed by his biology. It doesn't bother me. So I gathered. I see the way his eyes light up around you. She grasps her chest, face twisted from bitter memories. I figured someone else would arrive to take my place someday. You seemed as good a candidate as any, so please. Her eyes plead along with her words. Don't abandon him. Succeed where I failed. I want to help him, but I can't force him to take the help. Forcing him would just make him hate me. Yes, but he'd be alive. She covers her mouth. Apologies. Forget this conversation entirely. I'm being selfish. She shakes her head and downs the rest of her drink in one shot. If you're to be with him, I hope you can help him change for the better. Otherwise, do the smart thing and look out for yourself. Doctor! Don't be like this old fool and get your heart broken. You still have time. I take another sip of gin and leave her be. I can't tell if she'd been waiting to vent to someone, or if I just caught her at a bad time. Either way, Hiro was clearly more than just her patient. Her bias towards him is extreme, bordering on obsessive. I crack the door to Hiro's room open and see him already in bed, fast asleep, not wanting to wake him. I quietly slip my shoes off and lie down on the cot that was prepared for me, hoping the liquor would help me slip into a peaceful slumber. I'm instead awake for hours, racked by intrusive thoughts. Where do I even go from here? If I can't save Hiro, what was the point of all of this? Am I going to be trapped in the past until I can convince him to stay? Or is he right? And we're supposed to go to that ship. Why wasn't Virgil shown himself yet? Why hasn't Virgil shown himself yet? And if I do get trapped here, will I be able to return to Louisiana? Does another me exist in this world as well? And will he go through the same pain I did? Suddenly, something rustles to my left. It's just Hiro turning over in his sleep. I hear sniffing noises. A whine. You smell like him. I shrug, and he doesn't say another word, presumably going back to sleep. Oh? So what if I was with him? I don't need to explain myself. But this will probably just make the rift between us even bigger. I'm getting too sleepy and keep thinking straight. Please, let me find the right words. Tomorrow. Aw. That night, I had a disturbing dream. I think I'll end the part here, everyone. So I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you guys around.